1 year after the earthquake, the ADPC Lead Myanmar program has strengthened DOIN ability to support communities in a more locally led and coordinated way. One key area of improvement is the digital preparedness for the neighborhood network, which maps local actors, track progress, and coordinated effort between them. This way, the local communities are more prepared for the future shock. The other area of improvement enabled by the Lead Myanmar program is the capacity strengthening of local actors, particularly in the disaster preparedness and rapid need assessments. This way, the local communities are not only able to respond in relief effort, but also prepare and also assist with the recovery activities as well.
Thanks to Gates Foundation and ADPC, we were able to implement our project activity as we planned. 1 year after the earthquake, Lead Myanmar has really strengthened our capacity to support the communities in several ways. First, we improved the emergency preparedness system, including faster need assessment and better coordination with local partners, which allow us to respond more quickly and effectively. Second, we invested in local capacity building. For example, we provide MHPSS awareness training and first aid training to the community members that can help them cope with the stress management because they are affected by the earthquake and have been suffering with the psychosociological issues. So this helps them cope with their strengths. And the third thing, we strengthen our community resilience through recovery support because we provide cash assistance and NAFU agents to the families who immediately need this kind of support. So all these activities help rebuild the family safe and home and also reducing the risks if there is any shock in the future.
Myanmar is under multiple crises and life becomes harder day by day. And also it's been like 1 year already since one of the strongest earthquakes hits Myanmar and devastating in terms of infrastructures and thousands of lives. And through support of the LEAF program, these thousands of people could obtain the food securities and also they could extend the locally led mechanisms which secure them and efficient and also effective in terms of emergency response during the crisis time. For this, I would like to say thank you very much for the donors who have shown their humanities and also not neglecting the voice of our people, whose voice are mostly and heartily heard.
Hello everyone. We have implemented in the LEAP project. Our targeted area is the 𝐷𝐴 Oak Township. They have the 4 villages. They are affected by the disaster, earthquake, flood, and conflict. The community is facing with the agriculture input. The agriculture input are difficult to access from the community. The agriculture input prices are increased according to the earthquake affected impact and flood affected. So the project has provided the agriculture input for the small scale farmer. We can provide the 200 small scale farmer and 200 home gardening household. We selected the most vulnerable household to provide the assistance. The community very interested to the agriculture input because they need to the agriculture input for timely for the season The project can provide the paddy seed and blackgram seed for the small-scale farmer and the cash assistance for the labor charges for the cultivation. The community have changed to the community get the improve their agriculture productive according to the quality seed and the fertilizer. They are very happy to our project intervention.
1 year after the earthquake, the LEAP Myanmar, coordinated with ADPC, conducted 2 trainings, MHPSS training, mental health support training, and damage analysis and need assessment training. By conducting these trainings, we could provide mental health support to the community members and assistance more timely and needs-based.
1 year ago, we were responding by instinct. Today, thanks to Gates Foundation and ADPC, we respond with a systematic framework. The biggest change is in our technical confidence. For example, our partner, Kenyan State and 𝐷𝐿 are no longer just distribution aid. They are now using data, damage assessment and need assessment templates and 72-hour assessment to ensure aid reach the most vulnerable scientifically. We even sought a multiplier training effort where one trainee went back and trained 15 more colleges, building institutional resilience that will last longer after this project. LEAP Myanmar project has moved us from being reactive to being ready.
But I'm impressed to see how all the partners and the LEAP partnership, despite the complexity, despite the insecurity, despite the prices, despite the economic downfall, despite other natural disasters like the flood that happened, they were able to deliver to the last mile the programs and with the community, what the community needs to the community, by the community. And for me, that requires flexibility, it requires adaptability, and it requires people to go with passion, but with also technical way of doing the things. And for me, that is what the LEAPs have been able to demonstrate a year later, to actually making sure that there was a trust built, but also it was really based on the community needs, with the community, by the community. And that, you can't replace it. When we talk about a lot of discussion about localization, talk about localization in the generic term. LEAP have shown what localization means. No matter how hard, it's possible that the people on the ground have the voice because they know better, they know how to adapt, they know how to understand, and they are taking the risk, but with the same passion because they themselves understand. For me, this is a model that we need to continue looking at. However, it's still difficult. Issue with communication is still a problem. Price, security, natural disaster will come more and more. How do we prepare better for the next step? How ADPC specifically start working as ADPC know how to do preparedness, although this is a response relief, but I think the best response starts with the preparedness, and the best preparedness starts with the response. Then how do we start not separate both, and how do we start working as one to integrate that? The impact is definitely clear that a lot of the community has benefited from the project, from the LEAP. Still much is needed, but how do we make sure that the learning is continuous infusing in what people are doing. All these organizations who are participating, some of them for the first time with ADPC, some of them with multiple times, some of them have never been a relief, but they still have learned so much. And how do we capture that learning? How do we continue thinking about that? To conclude, I have to say trust is essential. Local as possible, local inclusiveness, local decision making is critical for us. But the more important is how do we do flexible programming, and how do we do adapt with the context, with the people, and more important, how do we listen with kind heart, with compassion, but we also know that they know better what is best for them, and how do we continue supporting them in the best we can. Thank you.
Reflecting on the year since the earthquake, it is clear the local leadership is a foundation of the resilient response in Myanmar. So as my role, I have seen that empowering the local actor is the most effective way to navigate complex humanitarian settings, and then where the natural disasters and significant access constraints overlap. This is called in our area, this is a train crisis. So in high-risk border area, traditionally logistics often face delay due to the transportation restriction. However, our local partners proved that local channels are the most effective way to move aid for their community. By utilizing community-based transport and adapting to the difficult terrains, they ensure that life-saving support reach the most isolated population. Mainly projects almost confined more success. First, I would like to highlight some things. We achieved 100% utilization rate because the aid was properly aligned with the urgent local needs identified by the local community. Feeble lose show 100% certification with the staff behavior, and beneficiary reported feeling safe and well treated during the distribution process. We have more lesson learned and this LEAP project. Best some of the key highlighted lesson learned that I would like to present. We must move away from the rigid timeline and allow for the adapted action based on the real-time field situation. Second one is success require engaging everyone from village leader to women in decision-making role to ensure the transparency for our project implementing. Some of the organizations use a community feedback mechanism. So we must support both disparate population and host community together to maintain harmony and address shared resource scarcity. In closing, the future disaster reform lie in these community-driven frameworks. Local leaders are the first to respond, the last to remain their community.